Got questions from Kenny and Darla and Sheila to respond to today. And Sam Lazar has a very interesting situation for us to talk about. So yeah, I think I've got everything set up. I need a confirmation of
DougBot said
audio.
hi, how you doing?
That confirms speaker bot. And I have me confirmed too. For Sheila, if you're watching right now, I have already approved you for the chat room, so you can say hello in chat if you would like to make your presence known. I think your topic will be first up to bat when I get to topics, but first I got to deal with a little bit of chat activity before I lose access to that, and it scrolls off from my view. Oh, I see somebody saying hello, Sheila. Brian is, I don't know if that means that she has already said hello or he's just proactively saying hello to Sheila. Now, and actually, Sheila and Darla, it might be the same person because it was one name on the video comment and it was a different name on the email, on an email I received with the same question. So it might be the same person. I don't know. Before I lose these old chat messages, I will acknowledge. Oh, look at that. The first one that shows up is 10:54 a.m. from Scott, but I have. I saw the ones from last night. Scott was first last night, and then Ken Stout, and I saw that not long before the show started. So I just wanted to see that for those of you who like to compete on being the first to show up in chat when I schedule the show, I do notice your comments, and it's kind of fun, even though I usually don't reply or don't respond to it. I notice. Scott is usually or very often first, and Ken Stout is often first. It is enjoyable to see that. So, well, for whatever reason you do it, I don't give points for that. But let's see. Let's make sure you're not telling me anything's going wrong. So let's see, Sheila or Darla. On the both of them, I replied to their comments with links to today's live stream. So it's quite possible they'll be here. But I think I have an easy solution for you, Sheila, Darla. And for Sam, I think I also have a good solution for your issue. Let's see. Hello, everybody. This is the first post for next week's show. I got no idea what that means. Don't try to figure it out, Doug. Just move along. David says I'm live. See, there's something else I wanted to. Oh, but not all of the pre-show. There was a lot of pre-show comments before this one even. And usually that's accessible in OBS. Oh, I do have some in OBS, more than that. Because I didn't bring this up on Chrome until after I already had OBS, that's not true either. I don't know. All right, yeah, the first one I actually have is a 1035 in OBS. Let's see how I have this thing fixed up. If I take you to screen number 2, we don't get, yeah, we don't get mirror in mirror because I have that fixed. But no, you're not seeing screen number 2 now, are you? Are you? I don't know. I don't think you are. I think you're just seeing me. Why? Under number 2, let's see if I move this up. Oh, come up to here. No. All right, never mind. Because there was something, I think there was something that I wanted to respond to. Might be wrong. Oh, notifications. Yeah, Ken Stout in chat asked for notifications. So that's another subject that I want to give some tips about. That's what it was. So I'm going to deal with the other subjects first that were, asked by email and comments. But before the show is over, let's get back on that topic of notifications. Phil Stodd, his form of notification says, let's see, is that going to show up? No. It says, I just think Doug comes on at 2 p.m. Eastern. Go to the channel. That's my notification procedure. He just looks at his watch. I don't know. Does anybody have watch? No, watches aren't really a thing anymore, are they? I think that's all that I was after. I haven't read through all the rest of the chat messages. So let's get to the question from Sheila Darla. Let's go. Not there. Here. It was from the video about hate the new Yahoo mail layout. Now this is a little different. This isn't really the layout, but here's Sheila's comment. Says, that's not my problem. Mine just doesn't show all my emails. It's shortened. When I actually get to the part about the answer, I'm gonna grab a video link so that she doesn't have to watch through the summary of what she's asking, because she already knows what she's asking. And I said, I'm not familiar with that issue. I do offer free help with issues such as that on my Saturday live show with remote connection to your computer. We're not going to need that because I know a little bit more about the issue now. And I am familiar with the issue. I just didn't understand the question. If you are interested in pursuing that, send me an email. So here I got my email address. I received an email from Darla. So I think that's why I think it's the same person. Describing your issue, since I probably will not recognize your email address associated with your comment. And then after seeing the email, I replied again, I plan to address this in today's show. I think I have a good solution for you. You can use this link to see the start time in your time zone. If you can't watch during the show, use the same link to watch it later. Now, I only put out all this because for anyone else watching that might have a question, this is a really easy, convenient way for you to be able to ask a question and get an answer, even if you don't want to watch the show. And I'm not offended by that at all. This show is primarily intended for IT support professionals, IT pros, people who help businesses or individuals, friends, neighbors, relatives with issues on their computers, and to help those people make more money or make more gratitude if they're doing it for free. So people, normal end users who are asking questions, I don't mind at all that they don't want to watch the whole show. Now, let's go get to the email, because that's where I realized, oh, that's what you're asking. Now, I have to maneuver this around a bit to try to conceal the email address. I don't know if I can, because I don't understand. Sometimes Gmail displays a person's email address and other times it don't. So I'm just going to read it to you because I can't zoom in enough to make it work. Darla says, hello, and thank you for your channel. I have a problem that nobody has addressed. That being, on the old version, so that would be the basic version, I think, it is now only loading a partial list of my emails. That was a much better explanation than the comment was, because on the comment, she said, mine just doesn't show all my emails. It's shortened. So I thought when I saw that is there's missing emails. They're gone, deleted. I was thinking maybe there's a filter set, but no. It's now only loading a partial bit. What it'll do is load about, I don't know, it's 20, 30, 40 emails. And then you can scroll down and it will load more onto the screen, but you only see a relatively small number. This doesn't allow me to select all and delete all of my emails. It seems to load only about 20 at a time. So that gives you the issue. So I just grabbed a video link and I'm going to reply to the email and paste that link, and then I'll come over and do the same thing on the comment and reply, and that link will bring both of these people to the place where I respond to this. Now let's do this. I showed the fix for the issue here, what I think is the fix for the issue. Yeah, you know I don't like to type. I showed the fix for the, but I got a proofread, right? So we're starting that now. To do that, I've got to go bring up Yahoo. I think I've got a pretty easy fix. If this is indeed the problem that she's having. The Yahoo account that I'm bringing up, I only use for monitoring DMARC notifications. So I don't mind showing it. And YouTube algorithm, I'm not exposing anybody's stuff here. This is not private personal information. Because the algorithm gets sensitive about what I show on the screen sometimes. Okay, so here, right now I am, if you look up at the URL up here, this letter N right here indicates that I'm using the new interface right now, but she said the old. So I'm going to go back to the old Yahoo Mail by clicking this link in the upper right area where I'm moving my mouse. Goes to the old Yahoo Mail, and I'm going to skip telling them why. It's because I have a YouTube show and I'm trying to demonstrate something. So here's the old mail, and we see, if I scroll down, you see that's all the mails that there are. Oh, and actually, you know what? I was wrong in what I said earlier. It's not loading more onto the screen. And a person could think that this is all there is. But there's this up here, this arrow to point to go to the next page. So you click next page, and that'll go to another similar number of emails. So I'm going to click there, and that'll take us to page 2. We can click this double arrow here, and that'll take us to the very last page. And let me take that off screen before I do that. Let's see, because there might be other emails way back then. No, it's okay. So here's what I get to the last one. So there's 161 pages in my Yahoo. Now click on this left double arrow, and that'll take me back to the first page. The question is, how do you select all of these to delete them all? Watch this. Click on this one here, and then click on the next one. You can do that, but what about shift click? Does shift click work? So let's go down here ways and do shift click. No, shift click does not work. Control click doesn't do anything different. All you can do is click every single freaking box. There is no method here. Well, there's select all here. Okay, why didn't I see that earlier this morning when I took a look at it? But that only selects, I believe, that only selects this page. If I click over to the next page, are they selected? Pretty sure the answer is no. Right, the answer is no. So you'd have to go through each page worth to do this select all button. Why did I not see that this morning? I don't know. But here's the solution that I think you'll really like. Sheila Darla. Now, if you just clicked on the link and came in, you don't know why I'm saying Sheila Darla, because I've got two names asking the same question. I think it's the same person. Over here in the upper right corner, try the new Yahoo Mail. I know you don't like the new Yahoo Mail, but for the purpose of deleting all of your emails, You can go there to the new Yahoo Mail to do that, and you can come back to the basic. You can go back and forth all day long. Now some people get access to the deprecated Yahoo, and that would have a letter D up here in the URL. I can't get to that anymore. Those days are over. It still works for some people. So try the new Yahoo Mail. I click on that. This goes to the new Yahoo Mail. Now look at this. Interesting. There is no select all button up here, right? So how are you going to select all? Well, you can click and then shift click, and that'll work. Here's where you can drag down and it'll load in more emails. See how that scroll bar kind of shrunk? Well, that brought in more emails, but not all of them, because I got like 172 pages, right? You drag down again and you can get more. And every time you get down close to the bottom, and then that scroll box becomes smaller. But still, that's going to be a nuisance and a pain. Watch what happens here. When I go click on, see, I'm going to try this a little different than I did earlier. I'm going to click on this one. Yeah, we get the same results. And I'll just demonstrate that you can do shift click to choose a group of them. But that's still not the right answer. The right answer, what you want to do, is click on this button up here that says select all messages. Now that button was not visible until I clicked at least one email in the checkbox for at least one email. Now if I click select all messages, watch up here, it says 240 messages selected. There is a little tweak, and I'm not really clear how to make this tweak happen and why sometimes it doesn't happen, where to the right side of this, it'll give you the opportunity to select all of the emails that are in your account. Right now, it's not showing me that. Bad Yahoo. Now let's unclick this and see if I can futz around a little bit. Your mileage may vary. You might have to experiment with this, but notice when I click to take that off, that select all button went away. Now we have the word all up here. This is just clicking for all of your emails because we were on primary. That might be the answer. I'm not sure. Click on all, and then click on this checkbox, and then click up here on this select all messages. Yeah, rub your tummy and pat your head at the same time. You got to wear your certain color underwear. Yeah, there it is. 100 messages selected. Select all 4,006 messages in the inbox. This, I think, is the solution for Sheila Darla to get to that. Now let's try going backwards on that a little bit. Go back to primary. If I do primary, do I lose that capability? Yeah, it looks like it did. So it looks like maybe the trick, the secret sauce, is to click all, and then click any of the checkboxes, then click the select all messages button, and then select this to select all messages. And then right here it shows 4,006 messages selected. So I think that'll be the solution. Sheila Darla, if that solves it for you, please let me know. I would like to hear back from you. All right. Now let's go take a look at chat and see if the account that I approved for the chat room was Sheila. So if she's shown up, it should be with the name Sheila. And I can scroll through here real quick because I know she's going to be in a gray color if she is there. No, don't think so. Go all the way up to the top here, Control F, SH, EILA. So it's shown up 3 times in chat messages, people trying to say hello to you. Oh, wait a minute, somebody actually addressed it. Now, since Brian did that with her actual channel name, when he saw that, I'll bet you he saw that and just typed it in, because I don't think she's here. No, she's not, because I've only hit 3. But that'll show up in, what is it? It'll show up on her screen as orange. It'll show up just like you see when somebody put in my name. To me, it shows up in orange. On your screens, you don't see it in orange because you're not me, right? But if somebody puts in your channel name with the @ symbol, you should see on your screen with an orange. It's to get your attention. Say, hey, notice me. Ken just turned up his hearing aids. Maybe install new batteries. Phil Stodd. People trying to get my attention with these oranges, and I haven't been doing a good job of paying attention. I checked the chat replay of the poll you did 2 weeks ago. The poll and the results do not show up in chat replay. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. The poll and results do not show up in the chat replay, but you were able to see them when I displayed them in the video. Phil Stodd, I had asked for somebody to report back to me on that, and Phil Stodd did it. So let's go give him some extra points. Yeah, we have a point system around here. It's intended to use it in ways to improve the interest of my videos for people who are in the business, either professionally or habitually, hobbyishly, to be supporting people with helping them with their Windows computing issues. Let's see, he was telling me that I'm live. Are there other oranges? I just pressed down on my scroll wheel and it's auto scroll. There's your live. I saw that one. Hearing aids, I saw that one. Okay. This command did not work for Marsman because it's not spelled right. Spell check. Exclamation mark points. In order to see how many points you currently have. As long as you're active in chat, you'll be getting 50 points per minute that you're active in chat. To find out if you're active in chat, you can click these 3 dots up in the upper right. Click on participants. And people who are active in chat, which means you've had a chat message within the last 5 minutes, will be showing up on this screen. So say hello to people. I'll give it a moment for other people's names to show up. If your name isn't showing here, you can go ahead and put something in chat. You can put in a space. You can press spacebar and enter or click. So your name shows up
chat,
here,
please.
and I'll say hello to everybody's. Oh, I can't get back to chat from there. Okay, I'll come back in here to the participants window in a moment. See what this read chat please was. It's V Minor 23. Oh. Baldy 67. That is a running joke. Somebody, not Zavi, has been put in 23, like every show for a long time. Was it Scott? I don't remember who. And one time I gave extra points, just on a whim. No, I'm not going to make that a thing. I'm not going to continue with that. That would be John and Scott. They were both doing that. Yeah, John Williams and Scott. They got some kind of running thing, but I don't know if it's a. At first, I thought it was a score for a program game that they were watching. Okay, so now let's go say hello to people. Brian, aka Baldy, hello. DougBot, hello. Edward Bass and Bass. Was there something I noticed in? I think you did a comment last night in chat. I don't remember what it was that I was noticed. Anyway, Jeff Ryman, hello. John Williams, Ken Stout, Lawn Dog, Zavi Minor, Mars Man, Phil Stodd, Rick Lakes, Scott B, Selden Ball, Williams Office, Xander Vanderhoven. Hello to you all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, next issue. Next issue. What is your issue anyway? let's see. I have emails flagged. Let's see. I'm going to finish up the email response for Darla. This is where I gave a likely solution to your question. Okay. And send that. That way they don't actually have to watch all of the preface where I'm giving the viewers an orientation to what the issue is. But just take her straight to the solution. Hopefully that's the solution. Now, I think I'll go to Kenny's email first because Kenny sent an email January 25th. That was Sunday last week. Yeah, so this one doesn't, Gmail is not displaying Kenny's email address. K-E-N-I. I guess that could be male or female. I don't know why it matters or why I care. I just somehow I'm sociologically trained for that. I don't know. Let's see, make sure that everything here is sanitized properly. See where I float my mouse to that might expose the email address because I want to avoid that. Okay. It's been a while since I read this message, so I'm kind of rereading it now to remember it. Let's see here. Kenny says, I hope you are doing well. Thank you. And you are better from last live show. Oh, yeah, I had a headache at the start of that show, and that headache went away. It went away during the show. I'm now a member. Thank you so much, Kenny. Also, I will, which is a dollar a month. I think, no, is it $10 a month or $1? I don't remember. Maybe somebody in chat could tell people how much it is. $1.99? I don't know. Also, I would like to ask you, based on your longtime experience, maybe you remember I asked you a question regarding AI on that insurance company that I'm working currently this year. We are planning to buy some new PCs, and I would like to ask you what you recommend me to choose that offer with custom build PCs, or second, offer with brand PCs. Thanks in advance, and have a nice day. Okay. Parse this out a little bit. I do vaguely remember a question from somebody that was dealing with an insurance company. I'm not sure whether Kenny is a direct employee of the insurance company or working in an advisory capacity or as a computer technician. I mean, for all I know, he might be a direct employee that is where his work is not specifically computers. Don't know. We are planning to buy some new PCs. Would like to ask what you recommend me to choose that offer with custom build PCs. Now, I want to come back and look a little closer because the wording here is a little bit troublesome to really understand what he meant to phrase, but I think the bottom line is asking, should we do custom builds or brand PCs, and specifically concerned in regards to their intentions regarding AI. Okay, so intentions regarding AI, there's a lot that could mean. Computers are available that have the AI capabilities built into the CPU. In what environments are you really going to benefit from that? I have not studied it deeply. In fact, maybe we'll go have an AI help us with that. But let me give you my thoughts off the top of my head about it, because there's a couple of things here to address. You got to be more specific about what you intend to do with AI, because if you're just planning to use web-based AI services, then I don't think it's that important, because those AI services are happening somewhere else. If you get a super monster powerful computer yourself, it's not likely going to help things at all. But if you're going to host your own large language model or AI services on your computer, which is kind of a high-end thing to do, then maybe you want to have those high-end AI chips. I think that's the way it is, but we're going to go see if I can confirm that. And then the other thing is custom build PCs. Okay, if you want the AI capabilities on the computer, then that might be a reason to want to do custom build PCs, maybe only for the people who are really going to be massively using AI. But in an insurance company, what are you going to specifically be using the AI for? I can think of a few reasons why you might. And would you perhaps be able to have one computer in the office that is performing the AI functions for the other people in the office? There, you have to have a much deeper dive on what do you mean when you're using AI in the insurance company. Custom build PCs, I don't personally see any reason to put those into a office environment. I just don't. I think it's way overspend. All of the, I think without exception, all of my clients who are getting new PCs because of the Windows 10 to Windows 11 transition, they're getting these low-end, inexpensive $200 to $300 computers, and the people are consistently telling me that they love them. They're fast. Now, compared to somebody who had a high-end custom build PC, they're not going to feel that way. Maybe. Depends upon how old the custom build PC is. But the 12th, 13th gens, I'm not sure which generation, 11, 12, somewhere in there, there were some significant advances in the CPU chips in terms of, what do they call it, operations per second. I don't get real deep into those numbers because my end users are not superpower users. They're not editing videos. They do use AI, but they're always using web-based AI. So, Copilot or Gemini or ChatGPT, any of the big name AIs is typically what they're using. Then brand PCs was another part of his question. In conversations with a client, I will give them price comparisons for brand name PCs. And actually, the brand name PCs, Dell and HP, they do have pretty competitively priced low-end computers.
Read chat, please.
I still don't like using them because they have all of their extra clutterware on them. And these B-Link computers, which is the brand that I have kind of standardized on, are still working really, really well. Now, see, that last read chat, please, is Selden Ball saying, some organizations are concerned about privacy issues, which precludes web-based AI. Yeah, that could be, particularly an insurance company. That might be an environment to do that. But still, we need more specifics about what are you going to be doing with AI. I have not even investigated what is available for this insurance company, for instance, to actually house their own AI engine in their office. Many AI services use input data to train their AIs, which is undesirable. Yes, but that's
Read chat, please.
That's not always the case. I have paid version of Gemini Google, and it tells me it does not use my content to train their AI. But I also have started using Notebook LM, which is a way to build my own, to train Notebook LM on my own content to where it's pulling information from my own sources. And that's working really well. That's still web-based, and it is still privacy guaranteed by Google. If you're not going to trust Google, then I don't know what you're doing on computers. Let's see. There was another one that just came in, right? Concerned about privacy issues. I thought I heard another one after that. Oh, here, just joined. Hello, Sam. You just joined. I have not gone to your issue. I've not gotten to your issue yet, so you're okay. You don't need to rewind. I was about to get to it. So thanks for letting me know that you're here. Phil says, you might find that most of B-Link mini PC you have purchased have NPUs built in. I haven't even looked at that. It could be. Neural processing units, I think is what that stands for. And on that point, let me also mention, I have tried some higher end of these mini PCs. I have tried i5s, and I don't recall if I did an i7. I did not like the experience. In an i5 in particular, because that tiny little fan in that i5 just ramps up, and the box becomes physically hot, and it's not noticeably any faster. So I like the N150s better than the i5s. Even if the price was the same, I think I still would go for the N150. They're quieter, they're cooler as in temperature, not, Fonzie kind of cool. Okay, so I did a copy of my, whoops, no, I guess I didn't. I meant to. Where'd it go? If I drag across here, do a Control C, and come up here, I can see if I missed any others. So let's see. John Scott saw that. Jeff, on Ken's live streams, points carry over, just saying. My points carry over too, you're just not seeing it yet. Your points are accumulating in a file. Should I prove it? Should I show it? Let's see. I need to go find it. I will show you. Points are accumulating. I'm going to take that off screen while I go poke around and find it. Because I've told you this before. You have a permanent record. Ay, caramba. See, I think it's here. Here. Let's see. So look, checking for sanitize. Is this okay? Yeah, it's all okay. So here's this folder called points logs. And then here's this one dated 10:54 a.m. That was after I finished my test live stream. So if I double click on this, now let's see, there's nothing private in those. This is a CSV file. And then if I click on this select all button in the upper left of Excel, and then double click on the border between two columns, that makes all of the columns wide enough to accommodate the longest thing in any column. So there's a little tip on Excel. But here's all of these shows and points for each person. There's the name of the show. There's the YouTube coded number for the show, how many points you had for each individual show. These are points that were awarded during my test live stream, but it had not done the reset yet. So everybody's points from last week's show were still present. I reset them at the beginning of every show so that you can see how many points that you have on today's show. Wait a minute, am I showing? Oh, you're not seeing this. I'm sorry. It's on the wrong monitor. I was describing this and you weren't seeing it. And also you didn't get to see that cool trick for making the columns bigger. So I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save it. Then I'll double click. So here's that folder, points log. I guess you didn't see that. Well, maybe you saw that. It's when Excel came up that you didn't see. Yeah, so here it is. So this select all button in the upper left, and then double click on the column border. And that makes all of the columns the width that's needed to accommodate the largest element that is in that column. So you see how here it's that large. See the name of the shows, the date of the show, the people who were in the show, and the points that they earned during that show. So yeah, you have permanent record. Let's see, where does that go? That now I occasionally save the file and rename it. So I have other files that are saved back prior to that date. Yeah. When I eventually go to actually utilize these to show accumulated points over time, which is part of my plan, I'll be taking out the test live streams because that's unfair accumulation. Don't save. So like over here is May 6th to October 25th. I think that's when I started doing the accumulation. I'm not sure. Some of these others that might be older. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's enough to show you that, yeah, you have a permanent record. How come DougBot has more points than anybody? Well, DougBot is always active because DougBot is speaking up. And I doubt that DougBot ever goes. In fact, DougBot is scheduled to do a comment, I think every 5 minutes or 10 minutes like this. So he'll get points. But that's going to be discounted. And the employees are not qualified. Hey, Doug, do you actually pay DougBot as an employee? No, he's a private contractor. Jim. All right, Jim. That was a LOL. I wasn't rolling on the floor laughing, but that was an LOL. So that's a 500 points. Another Yahoo problem. Jim very commonly comes in late and catches up because he's doing a really, really good relationship thing. As I understand, he's commonly out to lunch. Yeah, that's not a commentary on his mental state. He's out to lunch with his wife before the show starts and sometimes doesn't get here at the beginning of the show. Good. It's got to be a good relationship going on there. Now, like here's Edward saying checking in. So he's doing. I think he's already been in here. And for Ken Stout, wake up, watch. Ken Stout, here's something you asked about in your show. I caught a piece somewhere where you said you don't know how to do this. So when you click on somebody's name or click on the 3 dots out here next to their name, and then channel activity, that's where you can see all of their comments on your current stream. It only shows 3 here, but you come over and let's see. Oh, that's all that he's had on this stream. If he's had more than 3 comments, then it would show up with this arrow over here. And we're seeing on his my previous shows. This one he had more comments, so we can click on that and see more of his stuff. Ken said he didn't know how to do that. So there's another answer for Ken. DougBot is a AI generated algorithm. Well, DougBot himself is not AI generated. And the algorithm, there's an algorithm, not AI, there is an algorithm that has DougBot put in a message every so many minutes. But that's not AI, that's programmatic. That is scheduled. That is written in code. Do this every 5 minutes. That's not AI. I think there's a lot of things that happen in computers these days that people call it AI. No, that's a program. And an algorithm is not necessarily AI, and usually I think not. Algorithm is like it's a math. The word algorithm is a math statement or a programming algorithm. If such and such condition exists, then do this. That in programs, that would be the best way to say an algorithm, I think. I think I'm saying that accurately. It's like an if statement. If such and such condition exists, then do this. If not, do this. Else do this. Or on case such and such. That's an algorithm, a set of steps that are written under certain conditions, do certain action. That's not AI.
Read chat, please.
Answer for Ken, no way. John says, just kidding. Was I responding to John? Yeah, I know. It's just you just triggered me to say something. Let's see if I had any other orangey, just orange. That one. I have a B-Link Ryzen 5 mini computer that has no fan noise when running. I installed Linux Mint on it. Fan noise gone. Wait a minute. What? What? I'm confused. I have a B-Link Ryzen 5 mini computer that has no fan noise when running. I installed Linux Mint on it, fan noise gone. That implies that when you had Windows on it, it had fan noise. But the beginning part of that implied that it never did have fan noise. So I'm confused. And Ryzen, I stay with the Intel. I just never got on board with the AMD family and understanding what is higher level. Ryzen 5, I'm assuming, is a higher end AMD chip. I just have this psychological block resistance against AMD. I can't justify it. I don't try to argue anyone down off the ledge, the AMD ledge. I just prefer sticking with one and standardizing on it. I've heard too many times where AMD certain this, that, or other thing, you got to do this, that, or other. Oh, no. I don't have a pain point with Intel significant enough to go to Ryzen. And if it's less expensive, it doesn't matter. That it's irrelevant in business environment, that level of savings. And I don't do custom builds, so no. That last read chat, it's mid-range. All right. Now let's see if there's any other that I missed here. And then I think we're ready to go on to Sam Lazar. Oh no, I just realized, right? When I responded to Kenny, I did not grab a link. Ugh. If you want to do me a favor, here's another usability tip on YouTube. You can go back and do me a favor. You right click on your tab and do duplicate, so you can keep the current tab running, and so you can still listen to the video, and then scrub back And then, are you going to be able to give me a link? No, because you're only going to be able to see the time, the negative time. So like if you find it's at negative 33, then you have to figure out how long have we been in. So you have to do a subtraction for the number back here. We've been going 50 minutes. So you have to subtract one number from the other to figure out how far along in the video that we are, and then create a URL for where the where that section started. I'm pretty sure Brian knows how to do that. It's not easy. But anyway, that duplicate link is a way for you to scrub back while you're still listening to the actual live video. Clicking back to see if I've missed other things. Okay, that's all of them. So I'm caught up on the oranges, except here's the new one from Phil. It was noisy when Windows 11 was running on it. Yeah, because Windows 11 is doing more stuff in the background than Linux is. So yeah, Linux is a non-starter in the business environment. Just there's too much retraining, too much potential software is not going to work. Oh, you're just introducing way too many things that have to be dealt with. Not gonna fly. So you buy a higher end computer, Windows 11, and it's noisy. So your solution is, well, I'll install Linux on it. What are you doing with the higher end computer that you needed a higher end computer, but now you don't need Windows enough, so you're going to use Linux? Why do you need the higher processor at all? Have you given the low-end processors a chance? They are really impressive. IMO, in my opinion. And my clients' opinions. Whoops, it didn't go anywhere for 10. Okay. Oh, now there's only 10. There's not 11. Did somebody delete one of my things? One of my oranges? It was showing 11 of them. Now there's only 10. Whatever. Whatevs. Yeah, teenagers, right? Whatever. Sam Lazar. Oh. This is a good one, Sam. And I think I have a good answer. Oh, wait a minute. Before going there. No, I can't go there yet. How are we doing on time? Got another hour. Because there's something that I said that I was going to do, not the Ken Stout one yet. Kenny's question. I said I wanted to check with an A on the AI on something here. What was it? Regarding AI on that insurance company, we are planning on buying some new PCs. Oh yeah, when would they? What could they do with an AI on a local computer that would use the processor? All right, let's go try that. Here we go. A viewer on my YouTube channel asked this question. My question for you is, when is it useful for a local computer to have onboard AI capabilities as opposed to AI that runs from a web browser? And I just paste his original question and see what happens. It's great to hear from you again. Thank you so much for the kind words. I'm feeling much better. What? What? I guess it suggests that, I guess Gemini is suggesting a response. uh, Poser. For an insurance professional, the difference between local AI on board cloud AI is significant primarily because of security and speed. All right, somebody in chat said that. For privacy, security and privacy, the big one on insurance, you handle sensitive PII, personally identifiable information. Browser-based AI often sends data to a third-party server. And notice down here at the bottom of the screen, your DougBetts.com chats aren't used to improve our models. Gemini can make mistakes, so double check it. Now, because the reason for that is not because it's Gemini, it's because I have a paid version of Gemini by virtue of my Google Workspace, Google for Workplaces, whatever that's called. That last read chat, please. I'm looking over on OBS to see what it is. Oh, Jim says lunch with a wife is mandatory. There is no other option if I want to live. So it's not that he's being a good person. It's not that he's being proactively in his marriage. It is required. Okay. He still might be behind in catching up in DVR mode. Let's see. Okay, to third-party server. Nah, not for me. Onboard AI. Now, it actually says that it's not used to improve their models. Of course, what I put in does go uploaded to Google's servers. They're just saying they don't use it to improve their models. Why would you be concerned about using what I do to improve their models?
Chat, please.
Well, I think the reason for that is because if Gemini in the future provides advice to somebody because of its experience with me, could it reveal something about my content? It's not going to reveal client names or numbers, but excuse me. So I guess what I'm saying, even if it uses my content to train their models, does that really breach any privacy? Yeah, I don't know. Scott says, Kenny topic was 30 minutes ago. How deeply into the show was that? You'd have to subtract. Well, let's see. I see on OBS it was 57 minutes we're into right now. Where is, usually I have a note paper where I can write something. All my Honda notification, I guess. Yeah, I just, let's see, 30 minutes ago. So it would have been, well, about 28-minute mark. 28 minutes for Kenny issue. All right. Thank you, Scott. Let's see, in OBS, I can't participate in comments in OBS because apparently OBS is not signed into my Google account. It was signed in when I did my test stream. Now it's not signed into my YouTube account because I'm in live commentary mode. I cannot comment, or it says live commentary mode. All right, I'd get back on track here. Doug on track? Are you kidding me? Onboard
Read
AI,
chat, please.
Yeah. Now that chat message hasn't. There it showed up. David Graham. Local NPU AI is used for computer-related tasks like art, writing, etc. Cloud-based AI will give you the answer to the question you need. Okay, like art, writing. Well, I would think that you can. I know you can do cloud-based AI for art. So the fact that you're doing art does not necessarily mean that it's local. It would be the software that you're
Read chat,
using,
please.
the software that you're using that would have the capability of doing local hosted AI. So you got to talk about the, what software you're using. I think Jim says, the day Microsoft 365 and Adobe products are available on Linux, Windows is done. No, because my clients have lots of other software they need that requires Windows. But it could be, well, I don't know if my clients have zero complaints about Windows. They don't know from Hamburger that there's any problem or deficiency about Windows. I don't get what the complaint is. It's as far as I can see, it's only a complaint that technicians have. Onboard AI allows you to process document summaries and data locally on the machine. The data never leaves your four walls, which is a massive win for compliance and client trust. Yeah, in the insurance company environment where there's probably legislation that requires a certain level of security in the environment, for instance, where you have to have written policies in place. I have one client, and I've told you about that. What is going on? My phone is trying to shut up. Okay, I just turned the switch off on my microphone so that I don't get a copyright issue from a YouTube something or other that was, my phone just started playing YouTube. I have more complaints about my phone than Windows. I don't even know what that was. All right, moving on. Yeah, so I have one client where we have security policies. But it's multiple separate files. Each file has multiple pages. Well, crazy. These are our published policies for security. So in that kind of security environment, you certainly would want to deny people any form of web AI just as a level of caution, security. Say, no, it's not allowed because we can't fully trust. So you could even have firewall restrictions that prevent people from using known AI web pages. Known because you'd have to program that in to disallow that. The data never leaves your four walls, which is a massive win for compliance and client trust. You'd have to be using some kind, I assume, some kind of software that does host AI locally on your computer. That's not Microsoft Word. I don't know what that is. Latency and reliability. Browser AI depends on your internet speed. Well, it also depends upon the AI itself, how quickly it will chunk, because you send the question and then that computer out there in some big data processing facility does the thinking, and then it sends back to you. If it's just sending text back to you, I don't know that your internet speed is that big of an issue. It's just sending text. It's not actually the AI. I'm pretty sure. I have not researched it. I can't imagine that the AI processing is bouncing back and forth across the internet between its computer and you. It's got to, you send the chat question, you send the prompt, it ka-chuckity. Right. Ken Stout's going to want to take this. The ka-chuckity. That's the sound that an AI makes in their data processing facility. Jim says he's almost caught up. but that happens over there. So then it sends back the response, the text response or the imagery, whatever. Latency and reliability. Browser AI depends on your internet speed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. If the office Wi-Fi is acting up, the AI lags. Oh my gosh, office Wi-Fi? How many computers trying to do something with AI are going to be connected in an office by Wi-Fi? No. Stupid AI. This is an AI response, right? Offices don't use the Wi-Fi for their computer connection, at least not mine. Onboard AI works at the speed of your hardware, even offline. All right, I don't think I've ever experienced onboard AI doing squat diddly bupkis. All right, Ken. I don't think I've ever experienced local AI doing squat diddly bupkis. Ken Stout and I are good friends. We pick on each other. We have fun with each other. We had a very enjoyable phone conversation earlier this week where we don't pick on each other during the phone conversation.
Read chat, please.
That's just for the show. Let's see. Jim says, here's a question for you. Is there a way to turn off AI-enabled results when using Google search? Oh, we'll find out in a moment. Let's see. How much further do I want to go here first? I'm going to drag across that question.
Read chat, please.
Because I can do that in OBS. David says NPUs are useless without the software to use it. Yeah. So if you got NPU capabilities on your computer, but you don't have any software that actually makes use of that, I don't think it does anything. Rick Lake said yes to what? Or is he responding to somebody else? I don't know if he's responding to me or somebody else. So I'll let go of that. Because there's conversations that go in chat that don't involve me. It's not all about you, Doug. The NPU factor. Modern PCs now come with NPU neural processing unit. This is a dedicated part of this chip designed specifically for AI tasks. You know what? I think these B-Links do have that built into the chip. Dedicated part of the chip. And I think some functions that you do with web AI, like what was suggested
Read chat,
here,
please.
maybe making use of that. Rick Lakes was saying yes to what Jim asked me. He says yes, there is a way to turn it off, I guess is what Rick is saying. And John was talking to Rick. Okay. Okay. Moving on. This is a dedicated part of the chip designed specifically for AI tasks like blurring backgrounds in calls or real-time transcription. Oh, right. Like when you're on a Zoom call and you're using some kind of blurred background, that might be utilizing your NPU without slowing down your CPU or draining the battery. Right. Or using a fake background kind of thing. If you go watch the Ken Stout show, he does a show every night. He'll probably put a link in chat here shortly. Hint, hint. Where you will see people in the Zoom call using fake backgrounds. In some cases, using my studio as a fake background. It's a real background, just not theirs background. Well, real-time transcription without slowing down your PC. Oh, when I do voice dictation, is that using my NPU? Although Big Beast Build doesn't have an NPU because it's too old for that. It's an i9 isn't what generation is it? Ninth gen, I think. Some people in chat know what generation my CPU is. Those just pew, I don't know. Oh, there it is. He's got a link in chat for my request. He says my request, my hint. It was a hint. It wasn't a request. Suggestion, maybe. Custom build versus brand name PC. Since you are buying for an insurance company, not just home office, the brand PC versus custom build debate
Read chat,
changes
please.
slightly. That last read chat was Doug. He was using some of those fake backgrounds last night. I guess that was, he's referring to Ken Stout was using some fake backgrounds himself. Ken Stout says a smile, a giggle, no points. Nah, Ken's not. Ken's only marginally qualified because, well, he's not an employee. He's not a private contractor. He's not persona non grata. He's persona diminished. That's it. Persona diminished. He says, LOL. Here we go. Yeah, it's the Ken Stout DougBetts. Jab, 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 jab. That thing that Kerry Holzman has at the beginning of when he asked me on or on his show, or AI fake boxing each other. That's a fun thing he does there. Support and warranty. If a custom PC fails, you are the IT department. If a Dell Precision or HP Elite Desk fails, you have next day. No on-site. No, insurance downtime is last month. I've had the next day on-site support, and I have used it on occasion, but I'm the first level support. No matter what level support we have with such a Dell, this is where my experience has been. My client is never going to call them directly. They're going to call me first. If we need Dell support, I'm going to be making that call to Dell, which means I'm charging my client for that time. Most problems that develop with the Dell computer is going to be something that I can fix. Even in many cases, I have bought the part, although we could have got it under warranty, and done the replacement because I'm going to get it done quicker. If Dell comes out next day, they are going to interrupt my client's business day. Whereas if I buy the part, I will come in at a time that is more convenient to my client, maybe during a lunch break or even after hours to
Read
fix
chat,
it
please.
and not interrupt their workflow, because it might be an issue where the computer's not actually down, it's still usable. So yeah, no, I'm still first up to bat as support. This is Jim saying custom build or OEM, you're the IT support. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying there. I am first level support, and usually that's the last level that is actually needed, because I'm going to get the problem solved. Now, in the case where technicians who do custom builds for their clients, what I've observed is that if a client calls with a problem, you don't know what parts are in that computer, because it's extremely time consuming to keep records of what parts you put in each computer, because every time you build a computer, parts can change over time. So with brand computers, if a part is bad or a suspected part is bad, I can order the parts, have them with me just in case, replace that suspected part if that's what the problem is, because I know what parts are in the computer. I can simply look it up. The manufacturer has that information. And in the case of these B-Link computers, I'll just come out with a replacement computer. move the hard drive over or do a backup and restore, and easy. Consistency, buying 10 identical machines means one software image works. Oh, image, my hero. Oh, I like you now, AI. Yes, image, for all of them. Standardize the image across an office. Custom builds often have slight variations in parts that can ghost IT issues. Oh, slight variations in parts that can ghost IT issues. I'm not going to try to figure out what it means by that. Security features. Business grade brand PCs come with hardware level security like TPM 2.0 and BIOS protection that is more robust than consumer grade custom parts. Yeah, that's true, but none of my clients need that level of protection. That would be a level of protection where you want to be able to selectively disable, maybe disable all USB ports, maybe password protect BIOS so that end user can't go in and make changes. Prevent a computer from somebody being able to modify it at the base BIOS level to bypass security implementations. There's lots of things that can be done with BIOS, a BIOS on business grade computers to protect them further. My clients aren't that security conscientious. If they're not going to submit to keeping their passwords secret from each other in the office, you need to be having security from each other in the office to be wanting that level of protection. Yeah, I can think of some examples where that's not true. Like a computer gets stolen. BIOS level security would help prevent the bad people from being able to modify things there. But if you got that concern, then you need to have encryption enabled, and then that's pretty much going to solve that issue. The case for custom build PCs. You should go custom, only go custom if you have very specific high-end need, agreed, like a dedicated GPU for massive data modeling, yeah, that the brand names are overcharging for, okay, yeah. You have a dedicated in-house IT person who loves building and maintaining them. Is that really a justification for it? Can I award points to Gemini? That was a pretty good laugh out loud. You want the absolute best performance per dollar and aren't worried about standardized warranty. You want the absolute best performance on benchmark tests? Or do you actually do something that needs it? Highly rare. Highly rare? English is a second language for me, you know. No, it's not. For those who, is he serious? Summary table. I'm not going to read through that. My final recommendation, would choose the brand PC. At this point in time, I consider Beelink to be a brand PC. It's not as highly recognized as Dell. The other mini computers that are less recognized brands, I'm not experimenting with them. I like Beelink because when I go search for mini PCs, there's a lot of them available. They've been making them for a long time. They don't change models every other month. You can buy a model and it's still going to be available for quite a while. They, for the most part, have been consistent. I struggle with saying the most part because I got really upset when they switched from Windows 11 Pro on all of their computers to Windows 11 Home on all of their computers. I was upset with that until I discovered that every one of their computers will activate as home or pro without jumping through any hurdles. You don't have to go get a pro license from them. If you go ask them for a pro license, they'll give you one. You don't need it. You can just do the home to pro upgrade. I have a video on that, how to do that, using the temporary key code from Microsoft. And once you reconnect to the internet, boom, it's instantly activated. You don't have to apply a pro key code. You can't. I was all ready to do that because I got the code from them. I did the upgrade. And as soon as I connected to the internet, boom, it's activated on Windows 11 Pro. Not even giving me a chance to enter the code that they gave me. So I don't know why they ship them with home. I do care why. I'm not remembering right now. I think just mostly for consistency. I don't have any of those computers signing into domain. If I have a client who has a domain server, it's going to be Dell computers. It's not going to be Beelink. For your insurance, going to choose brand PC. AI, looking for AI PC labels featuring the latest NPU enabled processors. I don't know if you can get them non-NPU enabled anymore. The peace of mind that comes with a unified warranty and enterprise security usually outweighs a slight performance tweakability of a custom build in a professional setting. No, I don't want you to look at specific specs. Okay, so I wanted to go back and do that extra stuff regarding Kenny. And I shoulda, woulda, coulda done a video link at the beginning of that section too. I'll go back and grab them. It's not that hard to find them after the show is over. And when I do that, when I go back to after the show is over, let me demonstrate this. Since I've demonstrated a few things, let's come back here to this video. If, for instance, I want to send a link to somebody at this point in the video, how do you do that? You come down to this share button and then click this checkbox. And this link is going to be the exact point in that video that you're trying to share with them. So you can send that link to them, copy this, and then paste that into a email. Now it's weird that the check mark disappeared. Start at 104. Didn't I already do that check mark? Why did that check mark disappear? I thought I did that. Then I click copy. Oh, it disappears after I click copy. All right. And then let's suppose, see out here, this time equals 64. That is a number that reflects how far into the video that we are. I thought it was the number of seconds, but I think I'm more than 64 seconds into that. And then if you want to fix the link so that it's not doing that, well, I guess I can't edit it right there. But see, if I go over here to another, was I only 60? Oh, I was 64 seconds. See, it's a minute and 4 seconds. That's 64 seconds. So you can actually type the number of seconds if you have to calculate that based on numbers and seconds of what it shows. Now we come over here and paste that. There the t equals 64, so that's going to take us straight to the 64-second mark. There it is, 104. Now, if you don't want that, what you can do is backspace over the URL all the way back to the, get rid of the question mark. Now that's going to should take you to the beginning of the, whoops, nope, it didn't. Famous last words. What did I do wrong? SI equals, oh, I know what I did wrong. Yeah, I did wrong. paste that again. Oh, it's just over here. Get rid of the ampersand T equals. That part right there, that code is the specific video. So then I'm going to Control A, Control C. So I have that. That should take us to the beginning of that video. See if I'm right. Yep, there it is, beginning of the video. So that's how those URLs work with sharing. Now let's get to Sam's because we got 30 minutes left. Sam's issue. This is, I think this is going to be fun. And his email address does not show up in Gmail. So yeah, consistent. When you glance, how many people, let's see, how can I do this as a poll? No, I don't want to take the time to do the poll. At just a glance, what do you know about this email? What do you know about how Sam created this email? Do you recognize this? I instantly knew. Look at the formatting there, the bolding, the organization. How did Sam create that? I want to know, do you recognize it? Do you know how he created this? Scott says it, AI. Absolutely. This is AI generated. Not necessarily email. He may have generated, and Sam confirms AI in chat. Yeah, because this is very recognizable. AI. Yeah, I just scrolled down too far, but he is already cleared for his information to be revealed because he's in the biz. It's advertised information. So he says, "Hi Doug, how are you going?" That's an Australian phrase. "I hope you're having a good weekend. I have a client situation I wanted to run by you before I head back on site Monday. Hardware. The ball of the heat." This is another thing. AI throws in these little phrases or terminologies. I will often ask the AI not to do that. Cut out the cutesy stuff. Because I use it. I'll send out AI generated text in an email to my clients, but I try to tone it down a little bit. The client has a fanless, passively cooled Dell Surface Pro style. We're going to come back to that later about fanless, with a 12th gen i7 fanless. 12th gen. It is hitting a persistent thermal wall, hard locking the CPU at 0.8 gigahertz, verified in Task Manager. Very slow, creeping along, very, very slow. The chassis is so hot you could cook an egg on it. What I really know is, could you melt solder? She is also using a WaveLink DisplayLink dock, which I suspect is eating up the remaining CPU overhead. We got complications. The data mess. Dropbox. There's Dropbox, there's Outlook, and there's partition issues. She wanted to remove it, meaning Dropbox, but the account is unpaid and over limit. The web portal is locked. Over limit means there's no free space in the Dropbox. It's actually a little bit over limit. Can't add anything more to it. The web portal is locked. They cannot sign in to the Dropbox through the web portal. I don't know if it's locked because of password failures. I don't think it could be locked because it's over storage limit, but apparently they can't sign into it. So the Dell computer is the only point of egress. Since the files are online only, they're not stored locally on the hard drive. They're configured for online only. Any move forces a hydration, AI cutesy term. Any move forces a hydration download on a throttled CPU. I think what it's saying there is just totally consumed capacity on a throttled CPU. It is running at an absolute crawl. Outlook, there's over 20 years of history. Some folders were local, some were IMAP. Local means a PST file that's stored locally on the hard drive. IMAP means there's some that is currently cached locally, but it's all available on the cloud. I have seen 20-minute sync estimates jump to 2 hours. When you connect to the IMAP, it tries to synchronize what's on the cloud with the local computer, and it's going real slow. I have halted everything until I can get a forensic backup of the PST OST files. The OST files, I don't know that they're very useful for a forensic copy. The PST files, definitely yes. Partitions. There is a D drive. Let's roll this up more. There's a D drive.
Read chat, please.
There's a D drive partition syncing across Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. That last read chat, John Williams, likely the CPU cooler is not installed properly and causing it to slow down. I think that's a very likely scenario, John Williams. Sam Lazar, it's most likely a PST. Well, the IMAP would be an OST. The PST, I don't think IMAP creates PST files. I think that's just with a POP3 account, or you can have extra storage, local storage where you move emails to the PST file. But I don't think PST can be configured with IMAP. Not positive. The earlier technician claimed Google Drive kept crashing, so I'm concerned about existing corruption. So they actually use a separate drive than the boot drive for the file storage for Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. And I do that also. I call it the O drive for OneDrive. Existing corruption, I'm not too worried about because all of these sources should have the complete storage on the cloud version. And the only corruption should be on the local drive, if there's any corruption. So I don't think I'm too concerned about that. Conflict. This is Board of Advisors. I'm going to guess that the AI came up with that terminology. The husband claims the overheating is just due to a dodgy charger and her habit of keeping it plugged in 24/7. I'm going to address this part as well. He is ignoring the physical reality of the thermal throttle laptop. Yeah, maybe we might give him a little more credit than you're expecting. The earlier technician has also checked out after the synchronizations kept failing and is certified as fine. Now, certified, what is that? He is ignoring the physical. Okay, the board of advisors. So one advisor is the husband, one advisor is the relayed in third-party relayed information about the earlier technician. Also checked out after the syncs kept failing. Did he checked out mean he says, goodbye, I'm done, this is over with? Or does checked out mean that he checked over the data to see that it is fine? I don't think I really care about that, so I don't really need you to clarify that, Sam. The plan. I have told her to leave the laptop switched off so it can cool down. I like that. Don't let them turn it on. This thing needs to stay off. It needs to stay off a long time ago, probably. On Monday, I plan to extract the PSTs using Roadkill's unstoppable copier. I do not like that. To bypass I/O timeouts on the cooking SSD. Yeah, I don't like that approach. I think I'm going to give you, a better approach. I plan to download Dropbox files so they can be copied successfully. So he's going to use a different computer to download the Dropbox files. Maybe that's okay, but I have a better option in mind. I'm going to check Google Drive. Dougal Drive. Use a Terracopy for the local data. You might still use Terracopy with my proposal. I'm not sure if Terracopy can do my proposal. Move her to a new laptop with active cooling and a proper dock. Questions for the stream? Oh, almost didn't scroll down too far. I'm trying to be better with that. But again, Sam's information is public. On a throttled laptop chip, questions for the stream. On a throttled laptop chip, do you trust the download all command in Dropbox, or is it more likely to trigger a terminal trip? I think the latter is true there. Now, it could be the case, and I'm not recommending this, but it could be the case that you could configure laptop Dropbox to limited CPU percentage. There may be a configuration in Dropbox to limit the amount of CPU or the amount of throughput or the amount of speed that it uses to do the download. So if you throttle it to the point that it doesn't generate, if you intentionally throttle it, it may be that it won't get as hot. So that would be the approach if you were in a different environment, not this environment, where you wanted to slow down Dropbox's download. I believe you could do that, but I don't think that's a good choice in this scenario. If you just say download all, yeah, it's gonna go for it full bore based upon your utilization. I'd suspect that Dropbox is designed so that if you're using the computer while it's trying to download, it'll slow down the download, allowing priority to whatever you're doing. But if you start the download and then you stop doing other stuff, it's just going to go massive as quick as it can. John Williams, tell me to check Sam's last remark. Let's go over here to see that. If an overseas number calls me and is not in my contacts, I would block the number. That's a different, I think he's having a conversation with somebody else. I don't think that's the one that he's asking me to see. Let's go look at all of Sam's comments. That one was AI, the advisors. Yeah, okay, most likely he's saying AI gave the term the advisors. If an overseas number calls me and is not in my contacts, I would block the number. Okay, I think that's on a different subject, and I'm not sure why John wanted me to check that. He put a question mark. He wasn't sure either. Oh yeah, always answer that phone number. No doubt about it. Just pick up the phone and say, hi, Jenny. How do you manage the Family Board of Advisors? I think I'm going to start with that one. How do you manage the Family Board of Advisors when their advice, like the charger theory, contradicts the physical signs of the machine? I definitely have a method of handling that. And let's just deal with, this is a pretty consistent thing for me, where the husband claims this: I don't care how strongly you know that they are wrong. I would respond with something, well, yeah, that's a possibility. Could be. Let's look into that a little bit. There's some other things that are on my mind, and I think it's fair to say that we don't know for certain what the right answer is. So it could be there. Now, is there any place that could be the answer? And I ask myself this question: how could a dodgy charger actually be causing the computer to overheat? So I'm going to give you a science fiction response to that. I had to push that button twice to get the camera changed. This is kind of a science fiction thing. I don't know if this is true. It is possible, but it's enough to give a little bit of credit to the husband, a little bit of margin. And also, this is going to give the husband a chance to save face in case he's dead wrong. Sam says it's an OEM Dell USB-C laptop charger. So original equipment, it's actually from Dell. So I don't know why you'd be calling it dodgy, but I'm not going to argue with him. So the science fiction environment, and actually I've read some documentation on this. If it's a cheap charger that the computer is unable to properly communicate with and or properly manage the amount of voltage and amperage coming through, maybe it's not quite correctly rated. Could it be sending too much voltage through, that it's overheating the CPU? I really don't think so, but you could speculate on a scenario like that and then respond with, well, you could just go buy a charger directly from Dell and get the absolute correct one. Now, when he says OEM charger, in my mind, that's original equipment manufacturer, meaning buying from the manufacturer. But I see also that sometimes that term is a third-party generic brand that claims to be for that computer. I'm not very convinced on the term OEM, how reliable that is. Original equipment manufacturer, that means manufactured from Dell. That's what I want the term OEM to mean. Doesn't seem to be the case. So anyway, you tell them you could buy a charger directly from Dell and see if that fixes the problem. But there's some other possibilities. For instance, somehow the computer got hot. Maybe the ventilation vents got closed at some point. Maybe there's a lot of dust sucked into the computer.
Read chat, please.
Maybe that hasn't shown up yet. The charger is the one that came with the laptop from Dell, purchased originally from Dell. Yeah, so how's that
Read
dodgy?
chat, please.
I don't know, but don't want to argue that with him. Just give him a little bit of reasonable saving face, to give him a little credit, because you want the husband on your side. Whoever the advisors are, it's so much easier when they're in your court. So to explain some other alternatives, could be some dust has gotten sucked inside, and so the passive cooling has got a problem. There's a heat sink in there that is radiating the heat. And if it's got a layer of dust on it, it's not going to radiate the heat very well if it indeed doesn't have a fan. Oops, just spoiler alert. So the air vents could be blocked deeper inside to where you can't even see the dust when you look through the air vents. I don't know if Sam has even seen the computer in person. When he gets out there, he might look into the intake areas and see that it's clogged. It could be that the thermal paste has gotten I don't want to say corrupted or something because of the heat, and it's not making good contact. Could be a thermal paste issue that you could fix. That's not my recommendation. That's not what I'm saying to go do. But giving some explanations about how that could be the case, but there's some other things that could be causing the problem, and you don't think that we really have enough evidence one way to know what it is. You could, Mr. and Mrs. End User, go buy, before I even come out, buy another charger and see if that fixes the problem. If it doesn't, then we have to go down this other road. But here's my proposed solution. Is best case scenario, take the laptop from them, to take it to your
Read
lab
chat, please.
to deal with this. Let's see, I think I missed a couple of read chats. So before I start going into my proposed solution, that I'm currently liking a lot. And Sam, if you want to, if you want to come in on Zoom to have a discussion after I give you my proposal. Oh, so that's what that read chat was. A passively cooled laptop isn't something I'd be comfortable with at a guess. Thermal paste, the thing is full of gooch. Yeah, both of those is in line with what I've been saying. Why not check while the charger is disconnected on DC power? Okay, well, the battery is going to be generating heat. When you run it off the battery itself is going to be generating heat. So, and not too strong on that. Ken is thinking it's an octane problem. There's Scott with 23. Whatever. He put that in right now because he knows that I'm looking. The backgrounds are real. It's Ken that's AI. All right, so let's get back to this.
Read chat, please.
That would rule out a charger issue. Exactly, that would rule out a charger issue. Yeah, if the charger is sending more voltage, yeah, but I'd be concerned about if you still have the problem. I'm questioning, does that really... Okay, if the problem is solely the charger and there's no problems inside the computer, then yeah, running it off the battery. If you find that it runs fine when it's not connected, that gives us a good positive answer. Yeah, there's something about the AC charger. That is good. If you still have the problem, it doesn't really give an answer, because could the battery be putting out heat as well? Well, that would imply there's something wrong inside the computer still. So yeah, okay, I'm with you now. All right, I'm with you. The battery generates heat while connected to the power supply. If it's charging, if it's actively charging, yeah. If it's at 100%, then not so much. And that could be an issue too. Okay, how about this? Nobody suggested this yet. What if it's actually a battery problem? The battery is failing to charge. The battery has a problem to where it is generating excessive heat. While it's trying to charge, it never gets fully charged. And because of that, it is generating excessive heat, and it is the one that is throwing the heat into the computer. It could totally be a battery problem completely. Start switching with Optane. No, that wasn't a laugh out loud. That would resolve the husband issue, not the laptop. Yeah, we haven't got to the laptop issue yet. My suggestion. They should check to see if the battery is swollen. That's a possibility. And you should be able to see on the outside. I don't know yet if Sam has actually seen the computer yet. Now, I think I should get back to the fan part. It's a fanless i7. How do you know it's fanless? He hasn't told us the precise model yet. If you can give us the precise model in chat, somebody will go check to verify. Have you actually verified, Sam, that this was designed as a fanless model? i7 fanless. It's difficult. Sam says it was not bulging, which means he has seen it in person. I wouldn't trust their comment. I'm concerned that the client has told you that it's fanless and you have accepted that statement from them. They might be saying it's fanless because we don't hear a fan running. No, it doesn't have a fan. How do you know that? Because I don't hear a fan running. Put our hand over the ports. I don't feel any air. Therefore, it's fanless. I never have heard fan noise. Well, some fans are that quiet. You don't hear them. Yeah, are you sure it's fanless? Open up the computer and, oh, there's a fan that's not spinning. Bingo, source of the trouble. It might be fanless, but if it is fanless, it's likely got it still can accumulate dust in there, even though it's not sucking the dust in, and it could be a thermal paste issue. But here's what I would do. I'm going to bring it into my office. First thing I want is a full image backup of the hard drive, the SSD. So I'm going to open the computer up. I'm going to take that drive out, even if I discover what the problem is at that moment. Open the computer up, I might see what the heat problem is. It's got tons of dust in there. The heat sink is loose. It actually wobbles on top of the CPU. Regardless, I'm going to remove that drive, connect it to one of my computers, make an image backup, a full file image backup. And then what I want to do is take one of my own computers after exporting all of the drivers that are correct for that specific, for my computer. Doesn't have to be a laptop. You can do this with a mini computer or desktop computer or your custom build computer. I don't care which, I don't think it matters. And export the drivers, put them on a thumb drive so that you have them, and then do an image restore from that image backup you did from the client's computer to your own computer on a drive, to a drive that it's going to have plenty of free space available, and then import the drivers. Now you have a fully functional their computer that will interface with Google Drive and OneDrive and Dropbox. You can download all the files. You can copy off onto a separate media, because now you're not going to have the thermal problem. You're not using their computer. You've already talked about getting them in a new computer. So this is my suggestion for the most certain way to get past all of the symptoms without fixing what's wrong with the computer. Now, in the course of doing this, you might discover what's wrong with the computer and that you can fix it so it's fully usable. And then you ask them, hey, is this computer sufficient for your needs? Do you like it if it's not overheating? I think we knew the generation, right? So that it is Windows 11 capable. I'm going back to look. Yeah, 12th gen. So it's Windows 11 capable. Probably has Windows 11 currently. I think for sure it does. So you might be able to see how to fix it. But even if you see how to fix it, I would not fix it first and then try to use that computer, because I think you really need to get confident solution about the content, and restoring that image to one of your own computers and importing the drivers that your computer needs. It's not that time consuming to do. And you can get very quickly to a place where all the data is safe. Yes, Ken, I still intend to, or Rick, I still intend to do the notifications. And we may go over time, most likely. Okay. So I'm looking for, Sam, do you need to talk about this? Because if you want to talk about, if you want a quick review about how to do things, then come into my Zoom. I hope you still have the credentials for it. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Zoom up. Now it's just for Sam. Let's take that off screen while I'm
Read
bringing
chat,
it
please.
up. He's, let's see, read chat, please. What happens if it is soldered on and not upgradable? Then you don't fix the computer. Wait a minute, not upgradable.
Read chat, please.
No, you don't need to upgrade it. Soldered on. Yeah, if it's a CPU chip that's soldered on, I think the heat sink is still going to be attached, is removable, that you can fix the thermal paste. But if it's not
Read
fixable,
chat,
then don't
please.
fix it. You just get a new laptop like you already proposed. It's not fixable. Okay. Yeah, there's no upgrading. Don't try to upgrade the CPU on a laptop. No. Don't go down that road. 12 Gen 7 Can't be that's what I'm saying. I'm not buying that it is. I don't think he's given us the model yet. I don't think it is. i7 1210. I don't buy that. I don't think it is passively cooled. There are a few i7s without a fan. Okay. All right. I regretted not going to Zavi's Gemini link last time. So we'll get there. Yeah, we're going to do overtime. There are Dell laptops, i7 processor fanless. They're quite rare, typically found in detachable 2-in-1 tablet style designs. All right, that makes sense. Because he did say it was a Surface style, not a Surface Pro style. So perhaps a detachable screen. It's not a Surface because Surface is a Microsoft name, brand. Because the Intel i7 is a high-performance chip that generates significant heat, most standard clamshell laptops. Oh, what if it's soldered in the drive? That's what he's saying, is if the SSD is soldered in, but it would be an NVMe. Well, it could be. It could be. That could be. That would throw a monkey wrench into it. Because ask the AI that. Because Intel i7 is a high-performance chip that generates significant heat, most standard clamshell laptops require a fan to prevent thermal throttling. Most clamshell laptops prevent fan. Okay, however, Dell has utilized specific Y series ultra low wattage i7 processors to create silent fanless machines. Most notable. So these are all tablet style. So he did say it was a Surface style. Exclusively detachables, performance trade-off to run without a fan. These i7 tend to use less power. The fanless 13, notice that IPS has a fan. That's the laptop. Excuse me. If your goal is high performance i7 without any noise,
Read chat,
you might
please.
look at the MacBook Air. No, that's off track. I'm going to continue this chat. On the fanless detachable style Dell computers, is the SSD likely to be a removable NVMe drive, or might it be soldered in? I am considering opening up the computer to remove the SSD in order to retrieve the content utilizing another computer. Let's see, that last read chat, it is a design flaw. See, what does it say? For fanless, the answer depends heavily on which specific model you choose. You have. What model do you have? Not choose. This one requires removing the display panel to access. Yeah, the computer might be in the display panel where it has a detachable keyboard. That's the Surface computer I have. It's not called a laptop. Surface Pro, it's called. This one, easier to access than the newer 7300, so removable, yes. The XPS 2-in-1 is soldered. Avoid this model if you want to pull the drive. So Sam, do we know what model it is?
Read chat, please. Read chat, please.
See Dell XPS 13.2 in 1. This one. Yeah, he's trying to get me more quickly to this one. It's not removable. He probably put in that message before he saw me get to that point, I think. I saw XPS software on it. So thinking that it's the XPS. So yeah, what could we do with that? Let's see, where am I? I guess I didn't start an AI on that at all. So let's continue on this one. I think I have the XPS model where you say the SSD is not removable, the computer is not operating properly, it overheats extremely, hot enough to cook an egg on it, and it throttles the CPU so low that anytime I try to retrieve data from it, it just slows down to a crawl. Is there any way that I can copy out or image backup the content on the non-removable drive without triggering the overheating issue? That last read chat was Zvi saying Dell XPS 13.2 in 1, 9315 has the Gen 12 i7. Yeah, so he thinks that's a match because Sam says it's a Gen 12 i7. That's probably what he was trying to guide my attention to it, and I didn't realize that. It doesn't say it there, but his further research probably. That's 13-inch, not Gen. So I think Zvi's further research. Oh, here. i7 12 Gen. So we're seeing right there i7 12 Gen. This one is an i7 11th Gen. This was an i7 Y series. So it's looking pretty strong that this XPS is the one that Sam's client has, which means not removable. Sam says it has about a 500 gigabyte SSD is the last read chat. We don't know how much is in use. And, well, a problem with, it's not just an objective of getting the data off the computer. The Dropbox, the only way to access that is actually getting that computer to run, which means opening it up and trying to fix the overheating problem. Which in my mind could be the battery. If the battery's failing to ever charge up and it's got some kind of short in it, some kind of defect in it, it could be generating far more heat than it is designed to generate when it's charging. And in that case, when you have the computer turned off and plugged in, it's probably still generating heat. if the battery has that defect. So that's when you go there, if they have the computer still turned off, I think first thing you want to do is feel it and see if it feels warm. If so, that would be that battery is misbehaving. It should have been fully charged by now. And if it's got a problem, a defect, then it's still generating heat. And then in that case, your correct solution would be to replace the battery. Again, something you'd want to do in your lab. And that could bring it back so it's completely functional. But because the only way to you can't access the web portal, I don't really know why. Is it possible to get that web portal unlocked? If you can, then that solves the Dropbox issues. The files are not on the drive itself at all. So you don't need to get to that SSD. What you need is that computer to be functional so you can get to those files. I get it. Yeah, so this looks like the only way you can deal with that is to could you make an image backup?
Read chat please.
Not if the battery's defective.
Read chat please.
Yeah, not if the battery's defective. Those last read chat, please. Can you access Dropbox from a different computer? No, because Dropbox is locked. Do they have other computers that are configured for that same Dropbox? I think you need to ask them that question because maybe they haven't thought about that. Can they configure another computer for the Dropbox? Maybe, even though the web portal is locked. You might try that. Then maybe the problem is they don't know the credentials. Well, where'd you store your credentials? On the computer. Can't get to them because the computer doesn't.
Read chat please.
Well, maybe it does work long enough for you to get to where those credentials are, although maybe it's stored in Outlook. Some files could be on the SSD and not in the cloud. There's sync errors in Dropbox. Oh, maybe they saved files to the Dropbox folder on the computer and those have not synced to the cloud. So yeah, there might be files on the SSD that are not yet in the cloud. The other computer is the husband's laptop. Okay, he might have his own Dropbox account. Can you configure the husband's laptop for her Dropbox account? Maybe you want to create another user account on the husband's computer rather than disconnect his Dropbox, because I think you can only be connected to one Dropbox account at a time. Let's see, going on, continuing over here.
Read chat please.
Yeah, Sam says he has a spare Windows 11 laptops he can temporarily use. You might take a spare with you and attempt to sign in to the accounts with them present, because maybe you'll have to go through some password reset. Maybe there's some security questions that will require them to interact with. Unless you just want to grab and go. Maybe you don't want to hang out there. If you have this computer, your correct SSD soldered to the motherboard. Since you can't physically pull the drive, you are essentially in a race against thermal sensors. When a fanless system hits its thermal ceiling, it drops the clock speed to a fraction of its power, often as low as 0.4 gigahertz while your data transfers are crawling. To get your data off without the CPU cooking itself into a crawl, you need to bypass the internal heat buildup. Here is the strategy. In the cold environment method, since there's no internal fan to move air, you can go sit in the refrigerator to do this. Walk in. Do they have a walk-in freezer? That last read chat from Scott. You would think you could get to Dropbox from a different computer. If your computer dies, you lose your file. Normally you could, but the Dropbox account, the web account is locked for some reason. We don't know why. Maybe they tried multiple times with an incorrect password. That is definitely worth looking into. Did they tell you that it's locked and you haven't yet investigated that yourself? It might have been locked for a period of time, then you don't realize you can go try again. They might be trying random passwords over multiple times and it gets locked, and they did it again, and then they did. And no, let's get a more intelligent approach to trying to figure out what the correct password is, or do a password reset. Maybe they haven't even tried to do the password reset method. You got to be real careful about what they are accepting, what they tell you is happening. So, since there's no internal fan to move the air, the chassis relies entirely on passive radiation. You need to turn the entire laptop into a heat sink. All right, now I got it. Sam responds. Don't read my frustration wrong. He responds, according to my client, Dropbox is locked as they want her to pay for more storage. No, I don't accept that. They're not going to lock out your files until you pay. They won't let you store more. That doesn't mean it's locked. They might be reading that situation wrong. They're not going to hold your files ransom until you pay. And if they are, why not just pay for a month to get it unlocked? Yeah, I mean, by the time they pay your time, they're going to pay a lot more on your time. So if that's true, just buy 1 month of Dropbox to unlock it. But I don't think that's why it's locked. I think they are telling you something that they misunderstand. And don't tell them, don't say I think you're wrong. Let's take a look at it and see if there's anything we can do about it. Try signing into their lockbox with your computer or the husband's computer and see the actual state of the Dropbox, because they might be wrong about it. I think I might have called that lockbox a couple of times. You know what I meant. Marsman said he could move to Wisconsin, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's right. Take the computer into the snow. All right, let me get on. Stop with the humor. Read chat, please. Parker Morris. I am above is a link to Gemini conversation about Dropbox user account. Okay, Parker. I need to stick with this for now. Ice pack trick. I would like to get to that though. Ice pack trick. Place a sealed dry ice pack wrapped in a thin microfiber towel to prevent condensation and moisture underneath the laptop. So the microfiber towel and the dry ice, because I think dry ice prevents condensation, moisture, as well as the towel underneath the laptop. That is really not quite so laughable. It's a comical scene, but I would be willing. Active airflow, point a high-powered room fan directly back at the device. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. The cold stone method. If you have a granite countertop or metal surface, place the laptop flat on it. These materials soak up heat much faster than wood or plastic. Wood or plastic? And over time, you know this is what happens. Yeah, I'd pick up some dry ice on the way over. A lot of grocery stores have that available. Use a live recovery environment. Bypass Windows. Oh, yeah. Don't let Windows launch. Get into the recovery environment. Can you do an image backup? Oh, boot to a bootable Macrium Reflect. Windows is not going to be running. It's not going to get so, whatever your backup software of choice. Use a flash drive, boot to a software that has an image backup capability and see if you can make an image backup. Then you would be able to use the image backup restored to a different other computer method. Because yeah, that's gonna, you're not having Windows operating. If the heat is being created because of all the stuff Windows is trying to do, then that would be a solution. If it's the battery, then that method isn't going to work. Windows is heavy. It runs background updates. Windows ain't heavy. He's my brother. How did that song go? I don't know. Windows is heavy. It runs background updates, indexing telemetry that keep the CPU busy and hot. Boot the computer from a Linux Live USB like Ubuntu or a recovery tool like Hiren's Boot CD or whatever your favorite image backup software is. These environments run entirely in RAM, much leaner because they aren't running hundreds of Windows background processes. The CPU stays cooler, giving you a wider thermal window to copy files to an external thumb drive. Now, Sam, since you're already an AI guru, you can, after this video finishes processing, which takes a couple of hours, you can get the full transcript of this video and give that whole transcript to your AI and ask your AI to summarize the ideas that came up during the video. Just add that as the next chat prompt in your currently existing AI, so you can kind of keep track of all the ideas and then pick which one you want to go with. Use Robocopy via a command prompt. You can still get into Windows. If you can still get into Windows, don't use the standard drag and drop in File Explorer. Explorer is calculating time remaining in thumbnail generation. Actually stress the CPU. Open a command prompt. Use a Robocopy command. It's a robust, low overhead tool. Copies data bit by bit without the graphical fluff. Now you could also boot straight to command prompt, where you're going to have access to everything that's on the drive and the graphical user interface never gets loaded. In this method, you're first loading the graphical user interface, then getting to a command prompt. So here's an example of the command. The MT1 flag restricts it to a single thread, which is slower but generates significantly less heat than multi-threaded copying. That's a good point. Why wouldn't have known that? Target the whales first. Don't try to image the whole drive at once. If the system overheats and crashes at 90%, you might lose the whole progress. Copy your most critical small documents first. Move to photos. Save large video or system images. I don't like this. It's very time consuming to pick and choose all of that. I would try first with creating an image. And you may even use I think most of the image backup software have a command prompt option. I'm not certain about that, because if you have them boot up in a command prompt style so that you don't even get the graphical user interface for the recovery environment that Macrium Reflect uses, it has an alternative to that. It's some form of Linux, I think, or whatever software you're using. Quick reality check. Drink water, Doug. If the device is getting hot enough to cook an egg, just sitting at the desktop, there might be a runaway process or a short on the board or the battery. If the cooling methods above don't work, you may need to consider the BIOS UEFI, usually by typing F2 at startup and see if there's power management, Intel speed step. Setting you can disable intentionally to keep the processor's lowest, coolest state. Good idea. Would you like me to walk you through how to create a Linux live USB? No. Okay, I want to get to Parker Morse. Boy, are we getting the... Oh, Sam retracted something. Control F, Parker. He's got a Gemini. Let's hit both of these gentlemen with points. At Manor Zavi for doing research of their own and then providing that, and then Parker, and give you points also. And also we need to give Sam some love for bringing the topic in the first place. In fact, let's do that another one. All right. All right, Dropbox, use Dropbox, user account BIMITs. If I'm going to use an L over here, I'm going to use a B here. Dropbox, user account BIMITs explained.
Read
How
chat,
long
please.
is this? Not bad. That last read chat is what? Points for helping. John Williams, I can't recollect offhand, but you're telling me that you helped, so okay. It's Williams, right? Yeah, I don't remember what that was. The answer depends on what you mean by, whoops. How many users can be connected to one Dropbox account? That wasn't my question. My question was how many Dropbox accounts can you be connected to on one computer? One Dropbox account would be one user, but you could be signed into that on multiple different computers. I don't think you can have multiple different Dropbox accounts signed into the same Dropbox. No, because a Dropbox account is one Dropbox, but you could be signed into that Dropbox account on multiple different computers, even if it's different people using those different computers. Now, that's separate from the family plan. The family plan is a different connection, is a different question. The answer
Read chat, please.
The answer depends on what you mean by connected. Dropbox handles user access differently depending upon whether you're sharing a login family plan. I'm not sure how I feel about continuing this because that wasn't my question. That last read chat was 3 devices apps for Dropbox. Okay, so a single Dropbox account can be used on 3 different devices, but one computer, one user, which is one Windows session on a computer could only be signed into one Dropbox account at a time, I think. Family plan, 6 members total, how it works. Yes, that's not the same account. That's not the same data. Each family member has their own Dropbox data account. Business and team plans, again, these are different accounts. They're not accessing the same data. Sharing one login, multiple people can log into the exact same account. That's what I was describing. Device limits, you're on the free basic, you can only be logged into 3 devices at a time. Okay, paid plans allow unlimited device connections. So that is contrary to Sam's comment about 3 devices apps. That's for the free account, the paid, which is what your client has. They're unwilling to pay. They might need to gain access. If it's truly locked, holding the data hostage, I don't buy that. I think their understanding is wrong. Paid plans, unlimited device connections, security risk. Anyone with the password can change, delete, but if you're people you trust, that's okay. Sync conflicts, like if you're keeping all of your family content in one Dropbox account and you're all signed in that same Dropbox account, that's totally fine. You have all your family videos and photos. That's shared content. There's nothing wrong with that. If two people edit the same file at the same time, Dropbox will create conflicted copies. There are therapists that specialize in that. Help is available. Summary table. All right. That was less. That was less helpful than Zavi. So because of that, I gotta give Zavi more points than Parker. Okay, so we'll add another 500. Not taking him quite up to Sam's level. One remaining topic. Ken Stout is saying, oh, he's going to forget me. He's going to forget me. If he forgets me, Ken is saying, if he forgets me, I am not going to let him live it down. I am going to give him, because he said he was going to talk about my question. Here we go. He hasn't reacted to that yet. Because he said something about notifications. He's not getting notifications. First step, if you think if you got problems with your YouTube notifications, there are multiple ways that your notifications aren't coming through. So I'm going to give you the first thing to check on. And then my follow-up question is going to be, where do you expect to see your notifications? Because I think you probably are getting notifications. You're just not getting them where you expect to see them. So here you come to YouTube. Doesn't matter what video you're currently looking at. Come up here to your notifications. Click on the bell icon. The notifications that you expected to see, and he's giving me a response in chat, but I'm going to finish through this first. The notifications you expected to see, do they show up when you go click on this bell? Here's this important section and then more notifications. The ones that you think you did not receive, are they showing in here? Because every notification that you expect to receive should be showing up in here. If they don't, then that tells us somehow your YouTube account notifications is broken. If they are showing up in here, but you're not seeing them where you expect to see them, then we go look at that. Now let's go see what he has said. Bell icon. So that's where he expects to see notifications. He clicks on the bell icon and looks down this list, and he's saying they aren't showing up in this list. When he says bell icon, I don't know that he simply means that I click the bell icon to get notifications. Therefore, I expect to see. No, or you expect to see them on your phone, or you expect to see them in Windows notifications down the bottom right corner of your screen, or you expect to see them in your email. There's a variety of different ways that you could be expecting to see your notifications. So I don't know if that's what he meant by bell icon. He only used two words. And my PC. So what do you mean by my PC? Does that mean you come over to like home here on your file explorer? It's not going to show there. My PC. Do you mean the notifications in the bottom right corner? Well, then we go look at your notification configurations for notification settings and see if let's see, notifications. Click here and let's see, start notifications. Where is it? Additional settings from apps and other senders. No, not there. Where is it? Startup app notification. I have all my notifications turned off. I don't know if I'm even going to see them. Focus. Let's see. You're going to want Windows should be showing you notifications from your browser, because the notification. Let's see. How am I going to? What am I going to see this? There's lots of places that it can be. Let's see. I better see what LC has told me first, because everybody's broken notifications can be different. Okay. Bell icon and my PC. Not quite sure either of those what they mean. I think maybe I want to connect remotely to his computer and get him on Zoom. Maybe we do that next week. I expect to see them on YouTube when I am on YouTube. Oh, no, no. YouTube has documented that they may choose to not show you a notification when you are actively watching something that they don't want to pull you away from. I have seen documentation, either written documentation or on one of their creator studio videos that they create. Their notification algorithm, there's a notification algorithm, will pick and choose when to not show you a notification on the YouTube app or on your computer YouTube while you're actively watching something that they don't want to pull you away from. I have come across that. That might be why you sometimes don't see it. Is that a recent YouTube change on what you just said? No, I came across that a couple of years ago. And it's a sometimes thing. Tim Cruz saying you can try to unsubscribe and resubscribe. That's throwing darts at a wall or mud at a wall to see what sticks. Sometimes that'll fix it. I do get them on my phone, but not my PC. Yeah, if you're actively watching something on YouTube, that may not happen. You're using Edge. I do not use that. We did that, still a no-go. Yeah, I don't know exactly what he's referring to there. We did that. Which of the things you're saying? So how do we go about testing that? I think the way to test it is to be on your home page. And let it just be sitting there idle. None of your other tabs have YouTube videos playing. Let it be sitting idle, or maybe even being on a Chrome browser, maybe having recently clicked on something at the time when a notification is expected. How do you know when a notification is expected? I'm glad you asked that.
Read chat, please.
30 minutes before a scheduled live stream. That's when by my experience, that's pretty reliable. Notification will come through. I get that all the time. So-and-so is going live 30 minutes ahead of their scheduled time. So be active enough on your computer recently enough so that the algorithm knows that you're there, and either on YouTube homepage or on a blank tab. Now, here for your browser to be notifying you, confirm that in settings for your whatever browser you're using. Let's see how well I can get to this. Notifications. I'm going to just search notifications here. Notifications, third-party site settings. Go to site settings, and then YouTube. Click on the arrow here, And then right here, notifications. I would set this on allow. Notifications is set for ask.
Read chat, please.
I'm not sure how relevant that choice is available on everything. I don't think it's going to ask, but I'd say set it for allow. I do not see notifications come up on my browser when shows are going to go live. They don't happen for me. Maybe I already said no to it. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, that's what I suggest for testing. Oops. Please read my last comment. Doug just got notified while watching you and notified on my phone minutes ago for Doug, he just got notified while watching you and notified on my phone minutes ago for a carry. So remember, I said, if you're actively watching something, YouTube might choose to not give you a notification because it doesn't want to take you away from the show you're currently watching. What this means is that YouTube wants to take you away from watching my show in favor of watching Carrie's show, because that's how the algorithm feels about my show. If my theory is right. So he's telling me he got notified while watching my show and notified on his phone. So I'm assuming that you're saying you got notified in your browser, the same browser that you're using to watch my show. I'm assuming that's what you mean, because you also got notified on your phone. I only get notified on my phone. I do not want to be notified on my computer. Thank you, Phil. I love you all. Let's see what else Ken has said. I do not expect at all, but would like to know at the time someone goes live that they are live, not 3 hours after the fact. I don't know. Let's see. I'm looking at my phone. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I did get a notification when Carrie went live. And if I scroll my notifications, because I usually also get a notification before, 30 minutes before it goes live.
Read chat, please.
Since I picked up my phone, I'm getting all kinds of notifications of text messages. It's just beeping, message, beeping, stop it. Guidance, all these different apps give me so many notifications. All right, I don't need that. I think when the notification went through that he's live, I think the notification that he's going to be live in 30 minutes fell off. It's no longer there. Oh, I was going to look at this. I'll get to that last read chat in a moment. Yeah, nothing else I need to do there. Almost done. What was that last read chat? Oh, I also just notified on my PC Carrie in 30 minutes.
Read chat, please.
That notification should have come through quite a while ago. Got that one.
Read chat, please.
Long time no see. Sounds like a personal problem. I don't know. Well, thanks for checking in. I haven't received any notifications from Doug Carey KSL, comments on my videos, nothing. Always received on my phone, even when Stevie built her new airplane engine. Yeah, I've watched Stevie. So I guess you're saying it used to work and now it's broken. So it could be through, let's see, on phone. Could be through YouTube, could be through your phone for those two options. Could be the YouTube app on your phone where there may be issues there. So with that, I need to get out of here. So you could ask an AI to help walk you through checking all the different places where there could be a configuration issue that you could fix. All right, there's the email address. And let's go watch some people dancing up a storm. Have a great weekend, everybody. Catch you later.
Read chat, please.
Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tune in, days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team.